Hi, it's Rupert Hine here from Action Coach Nick and Ross, and I'm joined today by Mick Beavers from Control Valve Solutions. Welcome, Mick.
Hi, thank you very much for having me, Rupert.
So you've been running Control Valve Solutions for what, 14 years now?
14 years, yep, 2009.
What took you to starting your own business?
I think I was inspired by my previous three business owner bosses, um, Robert Ellis, Paul Baker, and Nick Burt. I think I see now they started their companies from nothing. I always thought you can't start a business from nothing; it's just impossible. But actually, I was living and breathing that kind of environment. And quite frankly, I was sick and tired of doing it for other people in a way that I wasn't really enjoying. So I thought, sod it, let's go alone, be a consultant to the oil and gas industry, and it snowballed from there, really.
So, what was it about working in other people's businesses that helped you create
Hmm.
the point of difference that you were looking to fill?
So I think I've been blessed to work in various companies, but the three in particular that are referenced, I saw a lot of bad things in the business, but I didn't focus on them. I focused on the good things, and I realized that if you could put them three businesses together, they'd actually be an absolutely world-beating company. They really would. They've got so much qualities, individual qualities from different areas. So I honed in on those qualities and developed what we've got here today at Control Valve Solutions. So it's really yeah, pinching other people's ideas, I guess, taking the best ideas, processes, etc., and also the softer things like the cultural side. Um, how not to treat people and how to treat people. It was yeah, I think it was a learning journey for me, although I didn't really realize it at the time. It was only until, really later on in my career with those companies that I realized actually I'm in school and now I need to leave school and go and do it myself.
Yeah, well, it's funny, isn't it? At school, we're told that copying other people is called cheating. When it
Exactly.
comes to business, it's market research.
Yep, that's right.
So, so what are the things that makes control valve solutions special? What are the things that set you apart?
So I think it's the mantra that we have. We have a mantra called HIT, which is honesty, integrity, transparency, and safety. I was always told that when I brought that out, if safety was first, as it should be, it wouldn't quite spell HIT. Um, but I liked it. It took me all of 2 seconds to come up with it, but I liked it as soon as I did come up with it because they are, four qualities in the business that we absolutely stand by. When anybody new comes into the business, we talk about hits, what it means to be honest. We don't want any white lies, we don't want any fibs, we don't want to hide anything from the client, from supply chain, from internal stakeholders. We just want to be completely honest with everybody, which is, I think, for a lot of people refreshing in this industry. If we're going to be late with a delivery of either a service or a product, then so be it. We understand what that means to the client, and we'll do absolutely everything we can to rectify that. But the first thing we must do is be completely upfront and honest with the client and transparent, and tell them, we're not going to deliver on the promises made, unfortunately, and this is what we're trying to do to rectify it. Help us, work with us with it. Let's have a look, see how we can alter your schedule, etc. And I think the industry has really enjoyed that. There's unfortunately quite a few companies in the same arena that don't operate in that way. They get away with it, but I don't think they are respected as much as Control Valve Solutions. It's all about the people that you employ
Yeah.
and them really buying into that kind of mentality.
So, how do you find those people? How do you get the right people into the business?
So that's an interesting topic. I think we're up in Aberdeen. It's classed as a city, but really it's a village. There's not many things around apart from beautiful scenery, very cold weather, lots of rain. Um, Quality of life up here is absolutely superb, and think people enjoy that. But not a lot of people want to move to Aberdeen, so you've got quite a small pool that you need to pull resources from. So it's really the first thing we look for is attitude, not so much what you know. It's all about have you got the right attitude to work for this business? We can educate you, we can train you, coach you into how we operate and what we actually do. It's not rocket science what we do at all. It's valves. Valves are a fairly basic product. They can get complex, but we have experts within the business. So it's really difficult to if you drew up a job description and you wanted the ideal candidate for, I don't know, a valve engineer or a sales engineer, etc., you're probably not going to find it in Aberdeen, which ticks every box. So you have to step back out of the norm and think, can we work with these people first and foremost? Can we shape them into a CVS employee? And have they got the skills to be able to take on new knowledge, etc. So once in a while, somebody comes across that has come from another valve company, for example, and you hit the jackpot with it, but not very often, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but it's attitude first,
Absolutely,
skills trained second.
absolutely. I really don't care if you've been to university or not been to university. It's me personally, I didn't go down the educational route. I had a 4-year apprenticeship, and I've really enjoyed my career. I've got people that have gone through university and are working with us, and I think it's life skills more than anything in business. I have a saying, and excuse the French, but we don't employ arseholes. So that's the first thing that I look for when somebody comes through the door. Are they one or are they not? If they're not, then great. Let's continue this conversation and see if we can work together.
Yeah, I forget who I heard saying it, but the mantra for recruiting in their business was better a hole than an arsehole.
Yeah, yeah,
and it works.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
you're absolutely. What do you do? So you've recruited people with the right attitude. How do you then get them bought into your culture in the business and keep them there?
Yeah, so I think it really starts from the recruitment process. So if we want people to be hits from day one, we have to be completely transparent. So the second they walk through the door, for me, it's imperative that everybody gets 100% trust. So it's for them to lose that trust, but you've really got to open up, demonstrate who you are. So the very first time they come, once we've recruited, we have quite a rigorous recruitment process, but once we've recruited, day one, they have 2 hours with myself, one-to-one, and it's really chill out, relax, let's have a chat. This is how CVS was born. This is a little bit about myself. This is a little bit about the team that we've created and what makes us special. And I talk about every single individual in the business. We go through the organization charts. I tell them who they are, where they live, how long they've been with us, their good qualities, some of their downfalls maybe. And then we release them for a week, a full induction where they actually go through each individual team and they meet every single member of staff. So they have at least an hour with every department. And sometimes they'll just talk about life in general. Other times they'll talk about actual purpose, the job itself. But some people's jobs are a little bit more simpler than others. So I'm absolutely fine them talking about 15 minutes about what they actually do and why they do it and how they do it, and then 45 minutes talking about how they come to live in Aberdeen or where they were born, and etc. etc. So it's really getting that family culture embrace from day one. I think after that first week, they come back and see me and ask certain questions, I just know we've got it right, because everybody says that was absolutely fantastic. You know, to have a week induction, to meet everybody, I almost feel part of it already. And for me, their career with CVS starts 1 week, 2, and they get the same support. Everybody knows each other. And it just plays to a successful recruitment and an onboarding process.
Yeah. So, what's the biggest learning that you've had as an employer since you began in business?
Well, I think probably that everybody's very different. What and how they say things to one person must be different to how you say things to the next person, but the message needs to be the same. You also never know what people are really going through. They're often I find people have often got the best poker faces. You know, I try and pick up on the psychology of all my members of staff. You know, I do a lot of walking around just to clear my head. You know, you get bogged down in the screens, so I just go for a walk and have a chat, see how people are, and I notice small differences, and I've picked that up over the years. And you know, I think when I first started, I was a bit blasé to it, and thought he's having a shit day, or she's having an off day, got out of bed wrong side, etc. But actually, if you delve in a little bit, you can support these people, and you get so much back from that, in terms of loyalty, if you really care for your staff members. But yeah, I think the biggest one is everybody is different. You know, there's very few same people. You can put them into similar boxes, but you've just got to treat people how they want to be treated. Really.
Yeah. So you've built a good team. You've got a great reputation in the industry.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
That's the big question, isn't it? You know, when I started this journey in 2009, it really snowballed, and I very quickly became overwhelmed with the amount of business knowledge that I needed, and I didn't think. Well, I don't think I didn't have. Literally, I didn't have. I know I needed an accountant. I walked into a mortgage lender and asked them if they'd got an accountant. And they said, "Is it a mortgage you're looking for?" That's how green behind the ears I was, kind of thing. So it wasn't until probably about 9 months in, starting the business, Business Gateway approached me, and a guy called John McQuestion rocked up in his Rover 75, all blinged up, and he said, "You need me in your life." And by Christ, he was right. You know, we didn't get much financial support, etc., but what we did get is a wealth of knowledge. And I actually got a 10-day session with a business consultant called Chris Greenhouse, who was absolutely superb. And he asked me exactly the same question: where do we want to be in 5 years? And I said, I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 days, Chris. You know, I'm juggling cash flow, I'm juggling recruitment. We're setting up this facility up in Aberdeen. I've got the procedures, ISO standards, blah blah blah, all the business things, and he mapped it all out in a strategic orbit. And he said, "So where's the exit strategy?" And that's another question that I was blown away with. You know, I just couldn't understand the question. I'd only just started this journey, and we're talking about exit. I was scratching my head, thinking, what is business all about? What is this exit strategy that they talk about? And it took me the 10 sessions to really understand what the heart of business is. And I like Chris that much. I actually employed him, and he became my operations director for a while. Which I'm my confidant and financial advisor as well. Chris was absolutely superb for me, and you know, we grew together with it. I think at one point, probably after that first initial 5 year point, where I realised that actually this thing's going to be sizable. am I the person to manage this? I've had to be honest with myself and say, I can take this business to 15 million. Beyond that, I think somebody needs to come in and really structure the business, whether that's with me or without me. Not really work that out. We'll do 11 million this year, so I must admit my heart's pounding a little bit when I think of my statement of I can take this to 15 million. So I think that kind of answers your question in a roundabout way. In 5 years' time, I'm sure we'll be doing more than 15 million. So probably I won't be holding the reins, I would think. But we're looking at taking the business internationally. We've got a few irons in the fire in certain areas of the globe that we've not worked in before. We've got a lot of exciting things still coming in the North Sea. So yeah, watch this space.
Fantastic. One of the great things about setting goals is that when you set them, you don't need to know how you're going to achieve them.
Yeah, that's
because the next bit's learning how you're going to achieve them.
I think 90% of the battle is actually getting it down on paper. If you've got something down on paper, whether it be a sales strategy, an operations strategy, a business strategy, financial strategy, as long as you've got something down, you've got something to work to, and you can always go back to the drawing board and say, we got that bit wrong. This is why we got it wrong. But if you can understand why you got it wrong, you just progress so much better. You've got a plan. Definitely got a plan, no matter what that plan says. If it's realistic, obviously, it's no good saying we're going to hit 50 million next year. You've got to look at what resources you've got, capacity, capability, etc., and put a well thought out plan together. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then just understand why it doesn't and move on.
Yeah. So if there's one piece of advice you could give to someone starting out on their own in business, what would it be?
Don't do it. No, I think it's a tough one. But for me, I wouldn't want to be doing anything different. I really wouldn't. I think being in control, but not being a control freak, allowing others to flourish, to assist, employ people who are more qualified than you are, give them responsibility, make sure you've got a good leadership team around you. Don't try and do it on your own. It will not work. You will fail. I've learned that the hard way. I think for probably the first 7 years, I kind of ran things my own way. I pretty much burnt myself out. And I just realized I can't continue on this path. I need good people around me, and I surrounded myself with good people. And we've built up a team today that is absolutely phenomenal. Not just the leadership team, but all the teams that cascade down. But I think it is that make sure you've got a good leadership team. Make sure you delegate responsibility wisely across the business as you grow.
Yeah. Fantastic. So great culture. Know where you're going. Write it down and recruit and surround yourself with people who are smarter than you are, better than you are. Great team.
It's not rocket science, is it?
It's fantastic. Thank you very much. That's been absolutely superb.
More than welcome. Thank you very much for having me.